The following contest is scheduled for a 2-hour time limit. Introducing first, coming from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, wrestling reporter and columnist Justin LaBar. And his opponent, you. Call, tweet, email because you can go one-on-one with Justin LaBar in Wrestling Reality. Right now on Trib Live Radio.
Wow. What a list of things that happened since I've been back in this studio. Resolution 5. Got my friend turning his back on me. We got SummerSlam. We got Raw. We got a lot of things to talk about here. Trib Live Radio, Wrestling Reality, 101 with me, Justin LaBar, presented to you by Tailgaters, coming off on our back-to-backer. Last night, of course, we were doing our monthly Raw pre-show that we do over at Tailgaters. Good time there. Let's talk about Raw, because we got a lot to do. No time to waste. We opened up Raw last night, opening segment with Jerry the King Lawler and CM Punk. Good mic work by one of the best from the old school and from one of the best now. Lawler says he'll think about fighting CM Punk. Crowd, of course, is chanting CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, and he's supposed to be the heel. CM Punk is still being looked at least for certain points of the night. He's always being looked at as the cool heel. There's far too many cool heels right now. I know he's not trying to be that, but he's still being viewed that way. It's almost like every night they go back to square one, and he's a cool heel, and then by the end of the night, he's done a pretty good job of being a total ass. But it's like every time they start over. We'll talk about that more as we go along. Jack Swagger versus Ryback. I guess now that Tyler Rex has quit WWE, it seems Swagger gets the unfortunate duty of being fed to Ryback. Ryback, who appeared to almost have killed Swagger, by the way, when he drops him on his head. Always happy to see Natalya. She goes up against Layla. Layla with the victory. Vicky Guerrero accuses AJ of abusing her power as GM. AJ smacks her. And boy, 1 minute, AJ's a part of one of the most compelling storylines we've got in a long time. And the big love fiasco with Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and Kane. And another minute, she's rolling around on the ground with Vicky Guerrero. Oy vey. Daniel Bryan begins his anger management classes. The counselor's son has a goat face mask on, all kinds of comedy. I like that they shot this very Hollywood style. Several cameras. They made, movie style cuts in terms of how they edited it. It wasn't a typical wrestling shoot where it was just all one camera straight through in one take. Jerry Lawler talks about CM Punk, how he isn't the best in the world, and he's going to fight him later on tonight. John Cena versus the IC champ, The Miz. Interesting at first as I watched this match, thinking it was just a year and a half ago they were fighting for the WWE title at the main event at WrestleMania. Now they're at the 9 o'clock point in the show, fighting with the IC title at ringside. Who would have thought that one? Good exchange between the two, though. Cena gets the win. Back to classes as Kane joins the anger management classes, comes in, sits down next to Bryan, who of course screams, no. Heath Slater versus Santino Marella. Santino, yet again, going in to another love story angle. Oksana comes out, distracts him and the Cobra, but Santino still gets the win. Brodus Clay and Sin Cara versus Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow. Intriguing combination of these four guys put in the ring together. Brodus still over, still hot, the dancing still working. Gets the headbutt and big splash on Cody Rhodes for the win. Damian Sandow, he still smells like money. Kane comically shares his life story. The doctor tells the class next week they will make an anger collage. That was a great scene. Love that they got a Pete Rose reference in there as well in his life story. R-Truth up against Daniel Bryan. Here's a question for you. We always see R-Truth, walking with little Jimmy to the ring, and a lot of times, Daniel Bryan a couple times has pushed or kicked a little Jimmy. When is little Jimmy going to fight back? When is somebody going to charade, and when is little Jimmy going to get some offense? That's what I want to know. It's bad when you're asking yourself these things. Daniel Bryan gets into a shouting match of no with the Brock Lesnar fan, the guy that always does, the Brock Lesnar pose and always seems to get on camera. This causes a count out. Daniel Bryan loses. Rare that a fan gets to be a part of the finishing sequence of a match. So pretty cool there. Triple H says he doesn't know if he can be at the level of the game anymore. Does his heartfelt speech. Reportedly did this because, of all the people chanting, you tapped out, and not really getting emotionally invested in the way WWE had hoped when Triple H lost to Lesnar at SummerSlam a week earlier. He says he doesn't know if he can do it anymore. He hopes he did a good enough job, and the fans don't forget him. Yeah, like that's going to happen. He drops the mic, and the thank you Hunter chants begin. Ziggler and Del Rio against Orton and Sheamus. This match was good for Ziggler, as it really showed how good he is. And this is nothing against Del Rio, Orton, or Sheamus. They are all talented. But the zigzag man, when you see him stand out in this kind of a match, he might just reach higher heights than any of them before. By the time it's all said and done. Orton and Sheamus do get the win. We see a little powwow backstage between Cena and King. Zack Ryder back on TV up against Otunga. Kane is on commentary. I love that Cole commented the whole thing and did the entire match standing up. Ryder with the win on TV. Otunga still bland to me. Raw Active, you decide, and you voted that it would be a cage match, and that you had voted that the cage would in fact be lowered for the Lawler CM Punk match. I love to finish this match. CM Punk wins. He's then trying to force Lawler to admit that he is the best. He brutally begins to beat him up. Cena comes out, tries to get the cage raised, and just as the cage does raise, CM Punk slips out, walking off. I'm liking the build. Going ahead to Night of Champions, where we're going to have Punk and Cena. I am curious, and I'm excited to be there and see what CM Punk does. I just hope it doesn't disappoint, and I hope it's the build to no end like it was at SummerSlam. 412-320-7925 is the number. sportstalk@tribweb.com is the email. Tweet me at Justin LaBar. When we come back, we'll take all your calls. We'll do all kinds of thoughts. SummerSlam, several episodes of Raw. We're going to have BAM time. We got stats. Boston Johnny might even help us here as we're on the road to Boston for Night of Champions. A lot of things to do. Trib Live Radio.